In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to bulk up fast without getting fat. What's up, guys? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center, where we help you to lose body fat, gain muscle, and get stronger. Today, we're going to be talking about bulking up. And I've been down this road before. I was a really skinny guy growing up, and as always, I wanted to put on as much muscle as possible. So I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I've bulked up fast and have gotten heavy, and I've bulked up too slow and I've gained nothing. So I pretty much have been down this road before. I feel your pain, and I'm going to explain to you some things you can do to bulk up as fast as possible naturally, so you can actually put on a good amount of muscle and not get fat. So if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. This way you never miss a beat and you get real life, applicable fitness information without the fluff. And if you aren't already, head on over to Instagram at AB Fitness and give me a follow on Instagram. And any questions you have, you can always ask me there. So let's get rolling. So in order to put on muscle mass, okay, you need to be in what's called a calorie surplus. That means you need to be eating more calories than your body is burning. All right, and that's the only way you're going to put mass on. Problem is, when you're in a calorie surplus, your body doesn't differentiate muscle and fat. It's not like your body says, oh look, Anthony's eating more now, so I'm just going to put it all on muscle. He wants to gain muscle, I'm just going to put it all on muscle. Especially naturally. You're always going to gain a mix of muscle and fat. It's just the way it goes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the harder you bulk up, meaning like the more calories you throw on there, you know, these crazy dirty bulks and YOLO bulks, the more you do those, the more the fat ratio is going to be up there. So you're always going to gain a ratio of muscle to fat, okay? But when it's aggressive, you're going to gain a ton more fat. And we want to minimize that because we want to bulk up and actually put on muscle. We don't want to bulk up and get fat. There's a big difference between the two. Because when I've done that before, I've bulked myself all the way up to 213, or 217 was the heaviest I've ever gotten. And at 217, I was just I couldn't handle the weight. It was just like too much. So, and then I had to diet all that weight off. So I didn't really net much. Whereas if I would have went a little bit slower, I would have netted the same muscle, but less fat. I would have had to diet less to get off that body fat. So, like I said, it takes some time for your body to put on muscle. Remember, we're trying to build real tissue. So this is 1 pound of muscle. So we're trying to build real tissue. Now think about it. You want to gain 10, 20 pounds of solid mass. That's a lot of tissue. That'll take you years to synthesize, okay? Like I said, by forcing more weight on, you're not going to be forcing more muscle on. You're going to be forcing more fat on, okay? And we don't want that. Your body can only deposit a certain amount of amino acids into the muscle a day. So you can't rush this process. So technically, how to bulk up fast is really how to bulk up without getting fat the right way. So it's not really fast, but this is the fastest way to do it that I could tell you. So there are some things you can do to help you to put on mass and leave the fat behind. So number one, you don't want to gain too fast, like I just explained to you. You don't want to be putting on 2-3 pounds a week. That's way too much weight that's coming on your physique, and more of that's going to be body fat. We don't need that. We want to put on mostly muscle. So you want to aim to gain about 0.5 pound a week or less. That's like the ideal ratio, where it's like a good amount of muscle being put on and less, and minimizing that fat gain. So that's pretty much where you want to be at. But most of the size you'll put on doing that will equate to more muscle. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind too. 0.5 pound or less a week. Especially if you're more advanced, it's going to take you more time in a calorie surplus, and you want even less than that because you don't want to be putting on a lot of fat only to have to diet that fat off. So that's one. That's the rate of gain for you. Number two, you're going to train with higher volume. I want you to utilize the extra nutrients that you're getting and pump up that volume to build more muscle. I've tried doing low volume routines before in the past, and they just never seem to work, especially in a calorie surplus. You know, when you're in a calorie surplus, you're going to have more energy to train. You're going to have more nutrients flowing around in your bloodstream. So you might as well use that and help you recover more by training more. So increase your workout volume. I recommend keeping track of how many sets you're doing per body part, and then figure out, okay, what's the minimum amount I can get results on, and what's the most I can get results on without maxing out and overtraining, so to say, right? figure out that range for you, and then stay on more of that higher end when you're in a more calorie mass building phase. Okay, this will help to minimize body fat and help to pump up as much muscle mass as possible. All right, number 3, I want you to take L-carnitine tartrate. Now, I'm not a big component of supplements. I'm not a big user of supplements. The only thing I really use is protein powder, a little bit of creatine, and that's basically it, and vitamin D. But when bulking, L-carnitine tartrate has been shown to increase androgen receptor sites on the muscles, and again, it also helps to utilize nutrient partitioning just a little bit better. So it will keep you a little bit more leaner when bulking. There are some studies that have shown that. I've used it in the past and noticed that every time I use it a little bit, I do stay a little bit leaner. So I would definitely recommend doing that. You want to stay anywhere between 2 to, again, it's going to differ, but 2 grams a day is usually the sweet spot for L-carnitine. I usually take it before my workout. So give it a try, see if that works for you. Number 4, I need you, especially if you want to do this fast, you want to build as much muscle as possible, as fast as possible, I need you to spend 6 to 9 months in a straight bulking phase. One of the mistakes that I've made in the past was only bulking for a short period of time because I didn't want to get fat. I said, okay, I'm just going to put on as much as I can in this short window and that's it. But like I said, it takes time for your body to actually deposit and make muscle tissue. So it's not going to happen overnight. You need to spend 6 to 9 months in this higher calorie surplus muscle building phase. But that's why it's important to gain at a very, very slow rate, because if I was gaining a pound and a half, 2 pounds a week, if I did that for 9 months, I would just get fat. But if I was gaining about half a pound or less a week, and I did that for 6 months, that's much more reasonable that I'm going to put on a lot more muscle tissue during that time. Then remember also, if you get too fat, you need to diet back down, and you can't spend, the more time you spend in a calorie deficit, the less time you're spending building muscle. So like I said, I've been a really skinny kid growing up, and for me, I've always wanted to be on the bigger end of everything. So I'm not going to get big if I'm spending too much time dieting to lose that fat that I've put on during my calorie building, my muscle building phases. So you need to keep that in mind too. 6 to 9 months. I know this video has fast in the title, but 6 to 9 months. Again, if you're natural, never taken anything in your life, it's gonna take time to put this muscle mass on, and that's ultimately what you need to do. So again, let's summarize it. So number 1, don't gain too fast. Half a pound or less per week is ideal for putting on as much muscle as possible while minimizing the fat gain. 2, you're going to train with higher volumes. Remember, like I said, you want to find that minimum and maximum amount of volume you can tolerate and stay more on that higher end of it when you're in a calorie building phase. Use those extra nutrients to help your body recover and put on more muscle mass. 3, take L-carnitine tartrate up to 2 grams a day. And 4, spend 6 to 9 months in that calorie surplus muscle building state. All right, hopefully that video helped you. If it did, make sure you watch the next 2 videos because they're going to help you take your physique to the next level. And if you're interested in coaching, head on over to my website, abfitnesstrainer.com, and apply for a spot. I can help you put on some muscle. And don't forget to share this video with another skinny guy or girl. Catch you guys on the next one.